Alright, today we're going to talk about the percents mid-unit review. So first we're going to review the models of a percent. So there I have the 100 square, and we just need to figure out how many of those 100 squares are colored in. So that first row is 10, second row is 10 more, then I have 2 there, and then 3 in this column. So that's 10, 20, 24, 27. So that would be 27%. If we need to make that percent into a decimal, we move our decimal 2 times to the left, and we get 27 hundredths. Alright, let's practice changing numbers to different formats. So I start with 4 and 8 tenths. I can make that a percent by moving my decimal 2 times to the right. So I'd end up with 480%. To make that into a fraction, I just read it with the proper place value. So that would be 4 and 8 tenths. And you can reduce 8 tenths by 2. Divide both those by 2, and you get 4 and 4/5. Alright, next we have 2 tenths of a percent. So if I can make that a decimal, I'm going to move my decimal 2 times to the left, put in a 0 place folder. So I get 2 thousandths. So if I make that into a fraction, just say it like with the proper place value, so 2 thousandths. And I can divide both of those by 2, so I get 1 over 500. Alright, so if we have 2 3/4, we want to make that into a decimal and a percent. So let's first do the percent. So I can take that 4 and multiply it by 25 to get it to equal 100. So that would be equal 2, and 3 times 25 is 75, and 4 times 25 is 100. So that's 2 and 75 hundredths. So to make that a decimal, just write it like it said, 2 and 75 hundredths. And then to make it a percent, move your decimal 2 times to the right, and you get 275%. Now if I want to find 35% of 210, in my last video I went over a couple different ways to do that. This time I'm going to use a decimal. So change 35% into a decimal. I get 35 hundredths of always means times 210. So I need to work that out. 210 times 35 hundredths. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10. 0 placeholder. 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. Add this up. 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 is 5, 0 plus 3 is 3, 1 plus 6 is 7. Now I have 2 digits behind the decimal in my problem, so I need 2 in my answer. So I get 73 and 5 tenths. Alright, now we're going to order fractions, decimals, and percents from greatest to least it's asking for. So, you either need to make them all fractions, all decimals, or all percents. So here I have 2 fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and just make these all fractions. So, 1/3 is already a fraction. 30% as a fraction would be 30 over 100. And those 2 zeros on the end will cancel each other out, so that's 3 tenths. And then 25 hundredths, that's like 25 cents, which would be a quarter. So that's 1/4. So now I can order these from least to greatest. So my smallest one, or my greatest to least. So my largest one would be the 1/3, which is 3 tenths repeating. So that's my greatest. Next would be my 3 tenths, or 30%. Next would be 1/4, or 25 hundredths. And then the least would be 1/5. You could have made them all decimals, or you could have made them all percents as well. I just chose to use fractions here. if we had to find 51% of 182, we can use mental math to do that. So 51% is very close to 50. It's just 1% more. And 50% is like half. So half of 182, well, half of 18 is 9, half of 2 is 1, so that would be 91. So 50% of 182 would be 91. And then I need to find 1% of 182. That's like saying, if I had a decimal, 1/100th. So I'm going to move that decimal 2 times. So that would be 1 82/100ths. Now to get my final answer, I just add those up. So 91 plus 1 would be 92 82/100. So 51% of 182 would be 92 82/100ths.